Welcome to the Nerd Box. I'm Deuce Major,
I'm Dom.
and today we're doing a review on, for some, the highly anticipated Guardians of the Galaxy Vol.3. Been a little bit of a fence for people on this one. You thought about it?
Well, me personally, when I went into this movie, I was looking for something totally different than what I got. So I was going into this movie looking for like straight action packed final for the trilogy. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? But you really get a heartful ending to the trilogy. You know what I mean? It has its ups and its down
Hmm.
moments. It gives you a lot of insight on Rocket Raccoon,
Yeah.
and it went the completely opposite direction of what I thought it was gonna go. So my initial score for this was lower than what it is now. After I realized like you have to go into this movie looking at it in a different perspective.
And we done talked about it. For me, it was the complete opposite. I felt like going into this movie and coming out, it fulfilled on something that had already been building up on. And to me, it wasn't necessarily the action. It's a family story. The first movie was about finding family. The second one was about having I would say, the genetic family versus the found family. And then the third one is basically sustaining it. Like you said, it's got its ups and downs. I enjoyed the action sequences. It wasn't as many as the first one. I like the first one a little bit better. I'm not gonna lie.
You know
But
what? The first movie is definitely the better of the three.
three, yeah,
The second movie they really could have did without that movie. The only thing you really gained out of that was what it Mantis.
yeah,
That's the only thing you really gained out of
you
that.
know,
And then knowing that Peter Quill isn't hundred
yeah,
percent
yeah,
human.
human,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Other than that, like they really could have did without that
To me,
second one.
the second one, the third one just shows how empty of a shell the second one was.
Yeah.
Because we, like you said, we got the bits of information. It was a Peter Quill story, and from what I'm understanding about this whole trilogy, that Rocket was the secret protagonist. And if that's the case, then the second movie is basically pointless
Yeah.
you know
But which and you're right, they did kind of make it seem like he was the real leading role for
and
all
and
three
he
of these
really he
movies.
really isn't. When you go back and look at it, they really been plugging this in for Rocket this entire time. And whether if everything went like it was supposed to, because I know he didn't intend for Gamora to be killed in Avengers Endgame, but he still made it work to me. I like the way that it ended. It was an emotional film. They was up and down everywhere. They was pulling at heartstrings everywhere they could. I like the character growth on Nebula and Mantis. Two of my least favorite characters, and I actually enjoy watching them in this movie.
But Nebula really switched around in that Avengers movie. So when they started showing you a different
Yeah,
side of
yeah,
her, you know what I mean?
yeah.
And she kind of, I don't know exactly when the swap came,
Mhm.
but they definitely made the swap real known.
Yeah, and that's why I think I like Gamora. I mean, not Gamora, Nebula a lot more among Mantis. Matter of fact, Drax too, because to me those three characters were in a stalemate. Like they were having no character growth whatsoever.
Yeah.
Drax was this dumb, strong dude.
Which, and I mean, he's still that
He
inside the
and he
third
still
movie,
is.
but they really
They touched,
unveil like
yeah, they
what his
touched back.
real calling is.
And that's something I really had forgot about. I forgot his whole I lost my family and I was a father and all of this. So it was nice that they actually came back and brought some of that full circle, you know what I'm saying? So it's like everybody didn't get these grand closures, but everybody got some type of closure. And the death thing kind of that threw me though. I was expecting somebody to die.
Well, I mean, you kind of spoiled and took away that from everyone that didn't know that.
Oh, this wasn't a spoiler.
That's crazy, right? That's crazy. But I mean, yeah, they definitely teased that throughout the past year that someone's gonna die. But I don't know if they more of teased it or more of it got put out there as a rumor. But then after it was put out there as a rumor, like you start to see those little bit of elements of them kind of saying someone's gonna die in the trailer.
Yeah.
And then it's crazy because once you go in the movie, the certain things that you see in the trailer is at the beginning.
Well, it might have just been a rumor started from the trailers. I think we were all just expecting some epic, you know, thing like that to happen.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think that it's a rumor that started from the trailers because the trailers started coming out after those rumors came.
Oh, it was
And
probably one of those them scoopers.
yeah, and
Yeah,
then once that came out in the trailer, they put like scenes in there that make it seem like someone died,
yeah.
but all that happened at the beginning and nothing happened.
My bad about the spoiler, y'all. But
Yeah,
yeah, other than that though, man, I like the character growth on the characters, man. Even some of the background characters, they got some shine time in it,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. Like the replacement for
What's the name? Yondu,
yeah,
Craggle,
the guy that adopted Peter when he
Peter.
was
Yeah,
young, yeah.
yeah.
And is kind of like the next in line passing of the torch kind of thing.
Thing, yeah. And you know what? Honestly, I got that vibe a lot throughout the movie. It felt like a lot of it was a passing a torch type of film.
Yeah.
You know, it yeah, I got that sense from a lot of characters. You could see the connections that were built between certain characters were stronger than others, especially with characters like Rocket and Nebula. I ain't think about how close they had done gotten between the little blip,
Yeah,
you
and
know.
then she really pointed out like, "Hey, he's a genius. Like he made this other arm for me
Facts.
when I didn't have the arm." And
Man, and I love the Nebula upgrades, man. Oh my god. The Nebula upgrade. I'm a fan of Nebula, as you can see now.
now
Yeah, now
it's too late for
yeah.
that now.
But you
So
know what? She really didn't have nothing to be a fan of in the first one. She was a angry robot person.
yeah, and what is crazy about it is because we're not gonna talk about it right now. Is she's not even the bad one,
No, no, she really not.
and which is the crazy part.
Yeah. And
But
they do a good job at highlighting that. I think they did a good job of highlighting where we were with Gamora as a character, because that whole movie, the end game, it left us all, kind of like, well, what's going on with the Guardians? They kind of answer that to some degree.
but with them bringing back Gamora, I feel like they could have did without her. They really could have just left her dead.
And you know what? I don't think it was ever the intent of James Gunn to kill off Gamora.
Are you
And
sure?
I'm pretty sure. And I think that was a move made by Disney. And then he just kind of had to live with the consequences of that and make a movie around it, which is why I was like, I kind of like how they handled it,
Yeah,
because I really don't think that character, or he intended for it, but it wasn't his call to, at the end of the day. So
yeah. I mean, all he could do is,
go along with the train, the
yeah,
engine,
you make
that's
your money,
yeah, make your money.
make your money.
Ain't mad
That's
at you,
about it.
make your money. And he definitely made his money with this one. As far as trilogies go, it's one of those trilogies that you didn't think was gonna end out all well.
But all right, trilogy wise, from the trilogies that we've gotten so far,
If
where does this one rank
okay, because
trilogy wise?
personally,
Don't be harsh on the second one.
I because if we talking trilogies in MCU, we got what? Thor, Iron Man, Captain America,
Well,
and
Thor, you can say Thor, but Thor has 4 movies.
technically, but I don't like to count Love and Thunder because they knew they should have stopped at 3 movies, and which is crazy that I'm even saying that now, because there's been that whole announcement where they're only doing trilogies now, just so they're not gonna go beyond.
But he's having another
But
movie.
but they kind of too deep with him already. But I'm on, as far as the main trilogy go, because Thor: Love and Thunder didn't feel like it was really part of the main Thor trilogy. It felt like a standoff to introduce the Jane Thor and other characters like Love, and to get off on famous comic book characters like Gore the God Butcher, who really
Yeah,
didn't do any God butching at
yeah,
all.
yeah. His character's real
You know,
stale and it was dull.
it really was. So That's why I'm not counting that movie. I'm gonna say Thor, Iron Man, and Captain America. Ant Man had a trilogy.
Yeah, Ant-Man had a
Who
trilogy.
else had a trilogy? I think those are
Spider-Man,
Spider Man. He had a trilogy.
Iron
So
Man.
I already said Iron Man. I already said it.
So you got Iron Man, Captain America, Thor,
Mhm.
Spider-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy.
And we just said one and we missed it.
What
But
was it? That's
neither here nor there.
it is here or there, but we're
But
stuck,
we
so we're
stuck. So,
keeping
but
moving.
I did like Captain America was one of my favorite trilogies. My only problem with that, you have to be involved with the rest of the movies to really understand his trilogy. So I ended up putting his trilogy as like number 2 for me. I was digging Iron Man, which is probably gonna be my number 1 on the trilogy, but I didn't care for the third movie. I was with them
You know
into the
what?
third
I
movie.
didn't care for the third movie, and I definitely don't care for it now after Shang-Chi.
You know what? In movies like that show how some of these movies really don't age that well. You
Yeah.
know?
And then Shang-Chi really just tossed it out there because they actually showed the
Yeah,
actual
yeah,
Mandarin.
yeah. And that was what everybody was waiting for.
Yeah.
So
But then the way that they did it was completely different because he didn't actually have rings. He had rings like Sonic
yeah.
type type style rings. You know what I mean?
So if
And
I'm doing this, if we doing this, I know Thor is bottom tier for me as far as the trilogy goes.
yeah, like
Um,
the I don't know. The first one was pretty decent.
yeah.
The third one was the best out of the four. That's
So
Ragnarok.
because I did like Captain America.
Now the Spider-Man movie, I like all three of those.
That's number 1 on my trilogy list. I enjoyed the entire trilogy. There was things I wish they would have did differently, but as a whole, it was good. It was cohesive. The final movie was epic. Captain America. I'm actually gonna put that at number 2, thinking about it. I really did enjoy the trilogy. And even though you had to be really up on the other movies to kind of get a base, especially for Civil War,
Yeah. See, Civil War, it was cool, but man,
it was a bunch of character
the
dropping.
Winter Soldier though.
The Winter Soldier he was a
The winter,
beast.
yeah, the winter. No, I'm talking about the second Captain
Oh, the
America movie.
second
Like
Captain.
Winter Soldier is like my favorite
Oh,
Captain
oh
America
yeah, yeah,
movie.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But my favorite moment in a Captain America movie is definitely when T'Challa popped up.
Yeah, and you can't knock that. And like I said, his series, you just had to be inclusive to all the movies. So I would put Spider-Man, Captain America, probably Iron Man right after that. Definitely not Thor. It's gonna be Ant-Man. Um, well, no, you know what?
No,
No,
Ant
no,
Man is
no.
definitely higher than Thor.
Yeah, oh yeah, most definitely. I would put Guardians right after my Iron Man series, right before Ant-Man.
And Iron Man was what, 3?
Yeah, and then so Guardians would be my 4, and then Ant-Man would be my 5.
I don't know about that.
And you know what? I like
As crazy as it sounds, after this particular Guardians movie, I believe is higher up than Iron Man. And the only
you know what? I
reason,
can give you that. I can give you
I
that.
say that because I really don't too much care for the second one.
The second one was fine. I didn't mind the second one because I had been tired of the going against a villain that's basically the evil version of them. That had been done with
But I mean,
the Hulk, and they were planning on doing it with Captain America, and we knew they had to do it like that.
in all honesty, the third one was better than the second one.
What the
Iron
Iron
Man,
Man?
yes.
Yeah, story wise, I just didn't like the fact that they didn't put the Mandarin in, which is why I didn't care for that movie.
Yeah.
And the Extremist Project,
But which is probably why they ended up putting him in Shang-Chi because
yeah,
they kind of
yeah,
explains it because the
was the
fake
front
one was
man,
actually in
yeah.
it. So,
Which, well, I get it. You sorry, you apologize.
it's too late for
It's too late for it, but you apologize. I get it.
yeah.
They tried to kill my boy off. He was funny, and he did a good Mandarin. I thought,
Yeah.
and even though they chose a actual Asian character to portray
Yeah.
the
But
Mandarin, it
but
felt
it seems like Disney is pushing more towards staying true to cultures.
Which I can appreciate, honestly. I hate whitewashed characters you know should have been of a certain race, and even though they have fairer skin, they can fit them in with a white character. Why
Yeah,
not just go full-fledged? If you're gonna try to go this deep to be this accurate science-wise and all the information, why not be culturally accurate as well, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah,
and
definitely.
and I could appreciate that. And as far as the Guardians movie, you got to see that they appreciate all of Earth's cultures and stuff like that. Speaking of which, you
Yeah,
know, they talked about it. They
yeah,
listening to the
they
the different musics. They're using they did the Christmas special in a whole different series, but
yeah, yeah,
you kind of get a whim of that on with everybody living on that head.
yeah. But I don't know. It just seemed like the Christmas special was just to give the character, like certain characters, just a little bit more development
Yeah.
before this movie.
I think that was specifically for Manus and
And Drax,
Drax, yeah,
yeah,
because they don't get no shine.
and it really shows
Yeah,
in this movie because of the influence that each of them have on each
yeah,
other.
yeah.
But with the insight that they gave you on Rocket, without giving away any spoilers right now, how do you feel about the insight? Like, was it something that you was looking for? Did they give you what everyone was asking for all these years? Like,
You know, with Rocket, I love the story that they told on him. I felt like they mighta coulda gave us a little more as far as when the movies were coming together. They never really hinted at any of this. You know, everybody knows who the villain is, the High Evolutionary. And apparently he's just been known and we didn't know that, which is kind of weird to me. And I mean like big known around the universe. So it's like that part kind of threw me.
yeah,
But as far as the rest of the story, oh man, definitely one of the better origin stories I've seen recently in MCU.
yeah.
Yeah.
About in the past, what, 4 years?
Yeah, yeah,
This
not
is
nothing just out of the newer stuff that we be getting. Like Shang-Chi was definitely one of my favorites
but that wasn't the past four
but
years though.
well, no, yeah, it was. When did that come out? 2019?
I don't know. I can't remember.
I think it was 2019.
Are you sure?
Um if it was 18, I know it. That kind of fits in that span, don't it?
I'm gonna
That's
look
that's
this. Let
about
me
well,
look
that's
this up.
5 years. That's 5 years. Fair. That's fair.
No, no, no,
But I
no.
think I want to say it was 2019.
Oh, it's 21.
Oh, then I'm very wrong. But yeah, that was one of my more favorite origin stories in the last 4 years recently.
Yeah,
The Kamala Khan thing was cool. I don't think they're going anywhere with the Marvel, I mean the mutants thing in Marvel.
yeah.
But it was nice that they was thinking about us. They clearly
From
don't care, but
so from what I've seen, they've been saying that they're not even gonna even use like they're not even introducing mutants like X-Men, none of
yeah,
that.
I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah,
And I feel like I could have expected that. I've been accusing them of blowing up the universe for a while now, and I still stand on that. And what I'm thinking is they're going to use the Secret Wars to do the crossover that everybody wants with the mutants and the Avengers and all that, to probably do the Avengers versus X-Men. And then they're going to be done with the Avengers, and we probably just going to move into like mutant territory
but
after that.
I mean, at this point, are you really getting the X-Men versus the Avengers? I mean, they'd killed off most of them.
No, no, and it's gonna be some weird thing like where it's uh like when they did the Femin Fatal thing during the Avengers, it's gonna be like a one-off shot like that. It's gonna, oh, this is what it would look like if we were doing Avengers versus X-Men, but we're not actually doing that. It's just gonna make this little one scene to show you, hey, it's kind of close, yeah. And then they're gonna go off into the regular thing. But I expect stuff like this from like Deadpool, because you hear all the rumors about
Yeah,
Wolverine popping up and stuff like that. So I'm not really surprised that they may not be doing the mutants at all. but I think they're just gonna be done with the Avengers at some point and just probably focus on that, so with the Guardians of the Galaxy, it makes sense that they kind of ending off certain franchises and everything like that.
Yeah,
These are more popular franchises that carried the MCU for the most part, especially Guardians, and nobody thought that one was gonna do anything when it first got announced. I don't think
yeah,
nobody
yeah,
had really any faith in this movie, and for it
yeah.
to
But that,
last for a trilogy.
yeah, but that first one really punched everybody in the mouth, though.
But
Definitely.
MCU had a lot of moments like that when they used unnamed characters. I think the only instance where they didn't is probably Captain America. I mean, not Captain America, Captain Marvel. But
They
Ant
could have
Man,
kept. I mean, in my honest opinion, they could have kept that one.
yeah, yeah, they definitely could have kept that one. That was not a strong point for them. But stuff like that, Ant Man had a knockout first movie. You know, the second one didn't do it as well. I don't know if it's those second ones for those unnamed characters that don't necessarily do it for me because Guardians Volume 2 and Ant-Man 2, they really weren't all that.
Yeah,
You know, franchise definitely could have lived without it. I lost characters that I like in Ant-Man. So the fact that Guardians kept most of them and tried to develop most of them, whether it be small or big, I enjoyed that.
yeah. So before we get to our personal scores with this villain inside of the Volume 3, how did he be? How did you feel about this villain? How did he portray this villain? How did he sell it and make you feel it?
Now, this one's funny because a lot of people don't like this villain. They say he's a empty shell. He's a hollow villain. He's just angry and screaming. But I took it differently. It's this him wanting to be a god, and he kind of mentions it briefly. He has this real
Yeah, where he says like, "There's no God, that's why I stepped in."
yeah, and then when the celestial head, he was like the dead god, the kill back up from that dead god. I think he
Yeah,
got this real complex with wanting to be a god, and he's the first one we actually see that's in his own way achieving being a god.
yeah,
People felt like that on some levels. It's just so to me, which is why I was blown that they never kind of mentioned him before. But to me, he portrayed exactly what the character embodied. He was a fucking whack job. It made sense for him to be screaming and going off on everybody like that.
yeah,
It made sense for his character's ambition. And I'm not gonna speak to what it was, but for his character's ambition, it made sense to me. And so he wasn't just screaming; he was frustrated.
yeah, yeah,
That this thing has eluded him so long and it's right there in his grasp. To him, that's basically godhood right there in his hand, and he just can't get it. So
exactly.
yeah, I enjoyed this villain, you know, and they always do what Marvel does, and they marvel it out and it find a way to just hurt you right at the end with the villains. But
Yeah, and yeah, because you've been talking about that for quite some time
yeah,
now.
but the way they do them, I don't too much care for. I always find room for you keep your villains, man. But
Yeah,
then
yeah,
again, we don't necessarily know what happened. They didn't really leave it clear cut, so I don't know. Maybe they'll figure it out.
yeah, yeah, most definitely. But we have gotten to the point to where we give our own personal scores.
Score
So
time.
I'll go, and then you can take it from there. So the way that I went into this movie, like I said, I was looking forward to be this action packed final, and people die and this person die, but that's just not logical apparently for Disney or just this MCU. So um my first initial score was a 6, but after thinking about it in a different way and the way that I should have went into it, I'd say it's probably 7.58.
Yeah, I'm in the 7.5 area too myself. And that's a fair score. It's hard to close out movies, and everything wasn't closed out.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie and say everything was closure. But for what we got, it was pretty decent,
I
compared to
mean,
some things that we've gotten, like,
for the most part, the way that they closed this out,
yeah,
they really closed it out and opened up
more
multiple
doors,
paths.
yeah, a
You know
lot
what I
of a
mean?
lot of different paths,
One path is the same, it's just it's a different path. And
yeah,
then there's other things out there that they can grow onto and build
yeah.
onto but that's neither here nor there.
But yeah, as far as though grade wise, I think a 7.5 to an 8 is pretty fair. Like I said, it's a good movie. It's humorous. It's not fleshed out with action from beginning to end, but
They give you
they give
glimpse
you,
of it
they
throughout
get,
the whole
yeah,
movie.
and they are enjoyable scenes for the most part. Some are a little bit lower level than others, but it's a well balanced movie.
Yeah, most definitely.
Is well balanced. The humor is 10 times better than Love and Thunder. I don't know who did the comedy on that movie, but they need to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
Guardians Vol.3 had me cracking up through the entire thing. When
But
I don't even want to say.
I think that is more of like that for Guardians because they stay true to who they are.
Yeah,
Like that
yeah.
movie legit stays true to who they are throughout all three of their movies,
And
and even inside of the Avenger movie. They
and
like
there's
they
no
legit
sudden
say
mood
true.
shift.
Like huh?
What I'm saying is there's, like you were saying, they stay true. There's no sudden mood shift between films.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to a degree, it's
Yeah,
going
but
off
it,
the
it's
same
it's
stem.
nothing major to throw
Yeah,
you completely off like the Thor movies are.
yeah.
But like always, we can make suggestions. We can give you our thoughts and suggestions. Definitely go pay for this movie. This is it is money well
Yeah,
spent.
it's
We
money well
can't tell
spent,
you how to spend your money,
but it's
but
money well spent. I
exactly.
wasn't mad with the money I spent on the movie.
Yeah. But we can't tell you how to spend your money or how to watch this movie. All I can say is do it the right way.
Go see
Yeah.
it.
Now just go see it. You won't be disappointed. You'll enjoy it from beginning to start. My kids didn't fall asleep in this one.
You know what? My kids actually watched it too.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
now the Black Panther movie, it was doable for me, the way that the direction or whatever. I still feel like the first one was better, but my kids went to sleep in this movie.
You
But
know,
that
and I think that was another thing about Guardians that I like. You could look at the recent movies and see nothing but product placement for new movies and new series. And mind you, it is in Guardians. It is, but it's not so in your face that you can't just be like, yeah, this again. I bet you they're gonna do this with a Disney series or something down the
yeah.
line. You know,
Now that is something else. That is something else. Like the way that I felt about this movie with my first thoughts, I felt like this really could have been a Disney series.
you know what? Looking at the whole entire trilogy, the whole thing really could have been a series, and it could have lasted a lot longer. Characters could have got fleshed out better. It's a team movie, and
Yeah,
you get to see them move more and more as a team as the movie progresses. Actually, as the series progresses. So if it was a show, I think all of that could have got flushed out so much better.
yeah,
They could have went into details and
definitely.
specifics
Like
and
like had like certain episodes to
yeah,
tell backstory on this character and
yeah,
how it connects to this and that.
and
Yeah,
and highlight on all these characters that they brought into the world, because we forget and probably take for granted, but this was our introduction into the MCU cosmic, you
yeah,
know, and that's gone so far beyond them now. We kind of forget that they were the ones that were the focus of that at one point in time,
yeah,
and they introduced a lot of these characters and brought a lot of these characters that we love and enjoy right now.
yeah. So yeah, definitely James Gunn has a good trilogy, most definitely. Like now we have reached this time. We're coming up on 30 minutes. This is the spoiler section of this session. All right. Now is your time to leave before we start talking about everything in this movie that you may or may have not seen. We'll give you a little time now. And no one has left, far as I know, anyway. So I'm gonna say this now before I even forget. So with this villain, I was wondering how the heck did he get the powers?
You know what? That's never answered. And those are one of those things they just left it in the air, didn't care to answer it.
Yeah. So yeah,
But
now
you know, but before you go into it, my only assumption on that is that maybe he augmented himself like he did the rest of the other stuff he was working on. And he's got a whole business corp behind it to kind of back that up. So depending on what type of stuff he's done is I can only assume that because it looked like it's coming from the suit. I don't think he's actually
yeah,
super powered.
yeah, it looks like it was something that he built because once Rocket
Yeah.
shot him or whatever and it short circuit, they went to beating his ass. It
And
was horrible.
yeah.
Like they was passing him around like,
Also, too,
oh my
when
god.
Rocket first attacked him when he broke out, he
Yeah.
never had that ability. He used the gun.
Yeah, like he didn't have that ability. I don't think he felt like he needed it. But
Probably until then.
after a while, when he realized, like,
Yeah.
man, I'm just a guy that
Yeah, creating
I
these
have nothing else
monsters.
to. Matter of fact, it would have been nice to like get like a slight backstory
Story
on
on
why
him.
he actually went that
Yeah.
route. You know what I mean? And I don't know why in this particular scene of the movie
Yeah.
where everybody just felt like rebelling against him was going to work. It's like, do you not know what he has in his arsenal?
Yeah, facts. They did choose bad times to rebel against him, and they show you that.
It's like nobody,
Yeah.
you don't do anything. We're taking this over.
You,
You're
even
all dead
honestly,
now.
now that I'm thinking about it, if there was ever a time to give a slight origin story to him, it would have been in
Yeah.
Christmas special.
No, I
Yeah.
wouldn't say the Christmas special. Like even now, they definitely can give him a slight origin. Like they can do another like Christmas story thing,
Mhm.
but they could just use him.
Yeah.
They don't even need the whole cast. They could just
Yeah.
use him. If anything, probably Rocket,
Yeah.
because that's only voiceover.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's like they can show like right there once Rocket start clawing his face up and all that,
Mhm.
and then from there they can like show like like little glimpse of why he did this, how he did this, why what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because like he had a whole different planet, like
Yeah.
civilization,
And what
and
it sounded like he built that planet.
yeah, because he just blew
Yeah.
he built it a couple of times,
Yeah.
really,
Facts.
because
Yeah.
he was like, oh, I just gotta erase it and try again,
Again.
and it's crazy because he just kills like just this entire planet just
Yeah.
mindlessly. It's like, all right, whatever, it's gone.
And
And
obviously he
it seemed like the only reason that planet blew up is because he left.
yeah. I think whatever the ship was, it was definitely connected to the core of that planet.
Yeah, it was like a
Yeah.
detonator.
Yeah, because as soon as he pulled it up, everything started blowing up, and I ain't see him hit no buttons.
Which is crazy because it don't make sense because when they show Rocket while
Mhm.
he was learning and everything, that planet was just floating there. Like it was already made.
Yeah. I
So
wonder if that was even the same planet. They never even
I'm more than no,
because remember,
you know what? No, because he said he had to start over again.
yeah, and he said that he's been doing these experiments for centuries. He old to the mug, from what I gathered.
Yeah.
He even had music that was 5,000 years old and whatnot. And then I remember on the first Galaxy Guardians of the Galaxy movie, when Rocket and all them got arrested, they said Rocket's home world was half world. And I was waiting for them to kind of
I
highlight on
don't
that.
think so, man. Because like I feel like Rocket is from Earth, and he's just a regular plain Jane raccoon.
He is from Earth, but I think the world that he was on
I don't think so.
with
Because when you think about it, inside of the movie, every planet he made, he modeled it after Earth. You have
no,
to
not necessarily. that he went to Earth back, and I'm assuming is when he got rocket, because he
Yeah,
said he visited the planet. He modeled that
yeah,
planet after. I
yeah.
don't
That
know if he modeled on every planet.
he's modeling every planet after Earth because he's basically saying like Earth that like that's the ideal, but they have flaws, and he's trying to weed out those flaws, which is why he keeps doing these experiments, trying to get it better to make a better Earth.
I don't think he doing it over Earth, because he said he only had visited one time and he liked the culture. And then
Yeah,
you
that's what I'm
remember
saying, and
he
like
made what's the people, the gold people, and they had like 5 planets tacked on to one another.
yeah, but I mean that maybe that was beforehand.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean?
They're
Because
like his goal right
like when
now is to
Rocket was
model it
looking
after
out
Earth.
of the ship when he was
Yeah,
younger, it looked like Earth.
yeah,
When they went to this planet in
yeah.
this
It looked like
movie,
Earth.
it
Yeah,
looked like Earth. I think he's just trying to perfect the Earth.
Earth.
You know what I mean? And he's basically like a offling of Thanos.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
they're basically like the same motive, kind of,
yeah. The
in a sense.
population control.
Yeah,
It create, but he took it a step further. He wanted to be the creator too.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So, but definitely a dope villain. I like his motives. He was outrageous when it came to Rocket, man. I didn't think he was gonna go that wild about it. I thought he was gonna get, oh, you know what? Maybe this is too much for one raccoon when he could have
yeah.
just got another one.
But
And
but
he did get Rocket from Earth. They showed it on that little plaque,
yeah.
that he was from Earth. So
But you know what? From what we said earlier, technically they did kill some. They did kill the Rocket. He died and came back. So
oh yeah, I
technically
guess so. And
technically speaking,
and
they killed
also,
them.
if you want to get on a more symbolic level, the team technically died too. So
Yeah, that yeah.
yeah,
The
well, the
so,
original team.
well,
Yeah.
in a sense, only
Yeah.
like two of them bounced. Drax is still there, and
Well, but he not on the team though right now.
yeah, but that's because he has other duties.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm
But
I'm
when
talking
time
about like the active team going out on mission.
two of them are still there,
Yeah. Well,
and
that's
then the buffoon they call Adam Warlock is just complete
but you know
idiot.
what though? I've actually thought about that one too. He's basically a newborn child coming out of a
Well,
cocoon.
well, the his mother said that. She said
Yeah,
that you took him out early.
early. Yeah, and I think he was supposed to learn a lot more, because clearly he's not dumb, but he's
Yeah,
dumbfounded. Like,
and from what I got from that mid credit scene
yeah,
is this is years later,
mhm.
and you can tell like he doesn't have that child mentality
Mentality
anymore
anymore.
because
Yeah,
he seems like he's more,
yeah,
you
more
know,
grounded.
yeah, because
Yeah,
he's
cause
sitting here
yeah, cause
thinking
Groot
and
was
talking
bigger too.
about, yeah,
Yeah,
huge,
man, and
colossal.
I heard people calling them Alpha Groot and stuff like that. I thought this was the King Groot, so I'm actually a little confused on which Groot apparently that is. But
I don't know, but are they the same?
no,
Is the question.
no.
No, like are the like you saying Alpha Group and King Group, are they the same group or are they gonna be like different groups?
Oh no, I assume it's the same group, just older. But I know when you first asked it, I thought you were talking about the first group
No,
that we,
see the
yeah.
first group, he died,
Yeah, he
and this is
died.
his
Yeah,
son.
yeah, this is son.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I thought you meant the first time.
No, no,
Now,
no.
I don't know if all these evolutions that he's going through just is something normal, you know?
I but I think that they are normal because it's like their race
Yeah.
is just like humans.
But it's like
Nobody is the
the
same,
first group wasn't that big though.
but nobody's the same though. That's
True,
just like,
true. Yeah,
humans
yeah. I
and
get
all
that.
that.
That makes
You
sense.
know what
That
I
makes
mean?
sense. Everybody's individual
Yeah.
aspects and
I
stuff
mean,
like
like
that.
even this group, like he grew claws like Wolverine. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
I've never seen the other group do that.
I've never seen Groot grow wings. That was crazy. He didn't fly, but
He did on Fortnite.
but man, yeah, it was a wild journey. You know, Rocket's backstory, man. Seeing him in that cage as a little raccoon, I was like, oh dang, this is kind of dark and messed up. I didn't think they were gonna do the animal cruelty to this level, but they definitely went for it. You see him stretched out over the little table and whatnot. Yeah, is that
Yeah, this is a King
King
Groot.
Groot? Then that's what he looked like to me.
Nah, he didn't. He didn't
Oh,
have the
he had like a crown almost.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Which is probably why you said King
King
Groot.
Groot.
Yeah.
But like I said, I've heard Alpha Groot, so I don't know. But I've heard King Groot too, so I'm sure they're gonna clear that up later. If they even do, which they
Yeah.
don't really need to, they could leave it like here. And honestly, I would be okay with that. I would be okay with it. Even with the highlight to a whole new team, sort of kind of. They got, the two OG members.
Yeah.
And like you said, Drax and Nebula still there. So I guess if they ever need them, they could join back in. But you know, they really could leave it like this and it would be all right. It's one of those situations where you should just leave well enough alone.
Yeah. Cause I mean, I don't know. The story ended off good. The ending post credit scene was kind of trash.
I took that as
The first one was doable. The second one was just stupid.
which one? The Star-Lord one come first?
That was the second
That
one.
was the
That
second
was
one?
the very end. It
That
was
was okay,
stupid.
okay.
It was
Yeah,
very
because
it was real
it
dumb.
was
I appreciate James Gunn for not having this ridiculously long uh credits
see
before the second end
oh
credit
my
scene,
gosh,
you know,
still
because
kinda long.
it really wasn't, man. Because it seemed like they showed most of the names right
Yeah,
there, the mid credit, and then you have the scene, and then the rest of the credits, and then boom, the end credit scene,
yeah.
which they really could have kept that.
I those were the moments where I felt like we were getting hit with product placement, like the legendary Star-Lord, that sounded like a
Yeah.
spin-off movie or a TV show or some crazy, or a special or some weird-ish like that.
Yeah, I at the end credit scene, it would have been nice for them to show and introduce Nova.
Yeah. You know what? That was a letdown for me in this film. I kinda expected Nova to pop up in similar, almost similar in the way that, Adam Warlock popped up,
Yeah,
but they did most of that focus on him, and honestly, he was barely able to fit into the movie, so if they woulda put Nova into the movie.
you know what? Now that I think about it, Sylvester Stallone, because he was in the first one,
Mhm.
but he was a part of the Nova Corps. In this movie, he wasn't. He was a
No, 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 Sylvester, he was always a Ravager. It
You
was,
are you
yeah,
sure?
I'm positive. It was, what's the dude from Step Brothers that was part of the Nova Corps? Go for it.
Man, I don't know, man.
Yeah, matter of fact, because interesting fact, I just learned that the group that he rolls with, the dude that does the stuff like uh Doctor Strange and the crystal looking dude, all of them are their own version of the team of the Guardians of the Galaxy, including the dude that Sylvester Stallone was playing. And that Miley Cyrus was voicing that damn floating head.
Floating head.
There's this floating head on the Ravengers that she voiced, and she didn't do it in the third one. They replaced her,
Okay, got you, got
but
you.
she did it in the I guess the second one. But yeah, he was always a Ravenger. It was I forget that guy's name from Step Brothers. Yeah, him.
I guess, man. I guess. I don't know how I feel about that.
But I don't know who they were supposed to have playing. No, I would hope it's not him, but I don't know who they were gonna have play Nova. They really don't hint to that, so I guess I
Yeah,
can let that one go.
didn't they have an end credit scene that kinda
That kind of hinted. I felt like they did, but I cannot. I'd be grasping at straws. I don't remember. I really don't, and I feel like Nova should have been introduced a long time ago, but it's one of those things that they keep choosing to omit. So
yeah. So this let me see, what else? When they basically realized that Drax is like, "You were born to be a father," and it was like, "What? You wasn't supposed to be a destroyer, you're supposed to
supposed to
be
be
a
a father.
father."
And I get it,
I
like
mean,
like I said, we forgot about his whole backstory. Oh, I did.
not really, because he really don't let you
Yeah.
forget.
Well, to me, I did. It was forgettable. It was like, you just kind of forget why Drax is there because he's
Yeah,
so
but I mean, even
giddy
though
and
it's forgettable, he really don't let you
yeah.
forget.
In the first movie, to me, it felt like I don't too much
'Cause remember
remember.
that was the whole reason he lashed out at the enemy
Yeah.
is because that's who took his family out.
Oh, what you talking about in the
The
Avenger?
first one.
Yeah, that was like in that one. Yeah, I get it and I feel that, but after that, it just kind of falls to the wayside.
Yeah,
So I don't know. And him being a surrogate father to all them kids,
beyond me. And
man,
it is only because he's the only one that speaks the language.
yeah.
But at this point, from what I got from the mid-credit scene, as much time went by, you kind of figure that they speak regular English now.
Oh,
Because matter of fact, one of them was a part of the group,
yeah. Phyla Vale,
and it was speaking regular English.
yeah.
So
And oh, I don't know if it's true or not. It would be decent if it is that part where Groot actually speak English. They're trying, from what I understood, it was the audience understanding Groot, like what's her name, or any of the other members just start understanding Groot out of nowhere, like Gamora did at the end. And I think that's what they were trying to portray. Seriously, if you look it up, that is the popular fanfic right now. That he didn't actually say "I love you." He was speaking in Groot, and they were trying to put it as a perspective of we can understand what Groot is now. Seriously.
yeah, I could have lived without that. I could have lived without that. Okay. Look here, man. We've been saying I am Groot for the past 3 movies. You can't wreck
I
that.
love you.
I love you guys.
Oh, he said guys at the end of it too.
I love you guys. It's like, what? What'd you just say?
Oh man.
What'd you say?
Yeah, that's funny though.
Yeah, man. They could have kept that. They
Yeah.
could have kept that. It was cool or whatnot, but I really could have do without that. I would now I can say I wasn't looking for that.
Yeah.
But now that I got it, I could have do without it.
Yeah.
You kind of broke it. It's like him breaking character. It's
Yeah.
like it's like you was a mime and you just started talking.
Vin Diesel just wanted to do that one time.
Yeah, it reminded like just from that, it reminded me of the video of Paul Walker dressed up as Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
What is that? Oh, got you. But yeah, man. Yeah, that's it. That's well, is not as much spoilers as we gave for what was the last movie?
Uh, uh,
Mario. But
it was a lot more detail in Mario.
yeah, it's a whole lot more detail. But hey, take us out.
So that's been the Nerd Box. I'm Deuce Major,
I'm Dom.
and we appreciate you for tuning in. Peace.